Closer, my little baby child. Hi, YouTube. It is Sea Witch in Seattle again. I'm sorry about this. This is the third video we shot in a row because we're hanging out, and this won't stop. So now that I pointed it out, you're never gonna unsee it for this whole video. Yeah, come here.
I am. I can't. I'm not gonna sit on your lap.
Get in here. You can. I think that should be a video. Okay. Today, we are going to talk about the Wheel of the Year. I'm trying to be serious now, but that's just not going to happen. That's not the kind of video we're making here. If you like serious videos, go somewhere else. No, I'm totally kidding. But, yeah. So, we wrote down our like, holidays that we celebrate, because we celebrate as a group, as a coven, as a grove. We're going to get real serious. Yep. We do. And, sometimes I do, like, moon rituals by myself, and Zach, you do, like, rituals by yourself, which we'll talk about at the end, because we're awesome like that. But, yeah, I have to write it down, because there's so many holidays and the dates change every year. Like, I have it in my head, but it's, like, I just didn't want to, like, blank and think too much in this video, so we've got it all written down, so hopefully, we will not blunder this video. So we're going to talk about this in the... How do we observe our year, Zach?
Yeah, the Gregorian. We use the Gregorian calendar as opposed to like Celtic calendars, which is like what a lot of like pagans base their year off of. Mm-hmm. For practicality's sake, we just use the Gregorian calendar.
Like when we do a ritual, we still talk about the end of the year and like the old times.
Right.
But because like there's so much of a focus on New Year, I think this is what does it, as New Year's being a holiday here. And everyone going out and, like, getting drunk and celebrating it, of course. And they make this big deal of it. So, like, that's kind of, like, how... I don't know, for me, I think that's why...
There's the collective
I feel
energy.
about it. And, yeah, it's, like, you know, your calendar, like your... We live in Seattle in America. So, you know, I know there's, like, people from all over the world on the Pagan YouTube group. In the group. Yeah, so where we live... It just... Yeah, the calendar starts in January. I feel like it's probably in January everywhere else, but I don't want to disclude any countries. Yeah. I don't know, because like
most of the world.
Yeah, most of the world. Calendar. So yeah, we're gonna go off that today. So we're gonna talk about the first holiday that we celebrate, which is
Imbolc.
That's right, and that's actually today when we're filming this video.
Imbolc, Imolg.
Yeah, there's like a million ways to say these, by the way. So if you say it a different way, I'm sorry. But we just do it, we just are just going off of the way we say it. So for me personally, I usually write an Imbolc ritual about something other than Brigid, because Brigid's not really like a deity that I sort of like identify with. Not that that's a bad thing. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, like I don't like have Brig in my like personal pantheon. During the holiday, I just kind of like, from my personal ancestry, like having Celtic ancestry, it's kind of nice to like appreciate what she is, what she symbolizes, like the, you know, like the melting of the snow and the fertility and the ewe's milk and the cows and all those things.
I'm so excited for our next holiday after this, because I'm like super excited about Dieselblot. A lot of the holidays that we observe as a group are the Norwegian holidays, or the Scandinavian pantheon holidays. So Dieselblot is the next one. Yeah, heathen holidays. Dieselblot's the next one that I'm really stoked for. I've got some really exciting things. I'll probably make a video after or like during it or something, so you can see the awesome things we're talking about. Just some of them are secrets, so I can't really, you know, disclose the spoilers. But yeah, this year I was like doing some divination in my house, because, you know, like we do. And I asked what I should write the ritual about. Not I, but like as a group, what we're gonna do the ritual about. I'm like the planner. I'm like a really anal planner. So I'm like, we need to do the ritual, whatever. And then we kind of like wait, and then we finally write it. So I just kind of wanted to get on top of things. And the tarot decided to tell me that this ritual should be about strength. And so since Dieselblot's about the Deseer and the Valkyrie, we're gonna do a warrior ritual, and it's gonna be really awesome. So I'm super
Specifically
stoked.
about female
Energy.
femme energy, femininity, the strength of femininity.
I think it's gonna be like super special too. I don't know. It's cool. We just started getting our incense for it today, so we're gonna celebrate. Yeah.
Very she power.
Very she power. And like what's cool is I kind of talked about it before, but since Seattle is such like an LGBT friendly place, like everybody in the group fits somewhere in that category. So like feeling the femme is like a mutual thing for everyone. So it's kind of it's just an awesome situation. But yeah, so we also do before any ritual, we do this like elaborate meditations. Like usually like there like music involved or like singing bowls, lots of singing bowls all the time. Zach has a freaking amazing singing bowl. It's a delight.
Yeah.
So
one of my prides.
One of your prides and joys. Okay, so next on the list is a holiday I've never celebrated in my entire life, which is Ostara Blot. I have never celebrated it because I feel like we kind of maybe lit a candle, but like, first of all,
I think we did it like the year before last, so we did it like a week before.
Maybe.
Or a week after.
Maybe. So we go to
SakuraCon.
You say that so, like, say it with pride. We go to an anime convention every March called SakuraCon, and it's at the Seattle Convention Center. If you guys live in Seattle, go to it because it's freaking awesome. And basically, it's Easter weekend every year, Ostara weekend, and we are, like, basically, like, dead. We wake up at, like, 5 a.m., we go to events, we go to a rave, we come back in the middle of the night, we sleep for, like, 2 hours, we wake up and put on another costume. So it's, like, this big freaking thing. There is no time for a ritual. It's not,
4-day
it
weekend.
will not freaking happen. Like, we might, like, celebrate something on the side, but, like, it's not gonna happen. Like, no. Oh, what's also cool is Dieselbot, the day that... So, Dieselbot would be, like, this week as well, but because we can't get together with everybody this week, we're going to do it on the 19th or the 20th, and it's going to be within the full moon energy, so it's going to be really, like, extra, like, special. Oh, and what I was going to say was the reason why I'm so excited... This isn't really that exciting for most people, but, like, I collected the first snow of winter. Yeah, in, like, a freaking... I just, like, put it in, like, a little plastic jar... Computer makes sounds. In a plastic jar. It's okay. It's my Facebook. Shh. It's okay. Anyway, don't let it distract. But yeah. So it's like the first. It's like snow water from because it didn't really snow a lot. But I got like the one time it sort of snowed. I like went outside. I was like, this is happening for Dieselblot. So that's gonna happen. So yeah. So Ostara Blot. Sorry guys, if you celebrate it, tell me how wonderful it is. But like, I don't even remember ever doing it. If we did, I don't remember it.
I think it was something small that we did the year
Maybe
before
it was something
last.
really small. Because we try to hit everything, but that is just sort of an inconvenient spot. And I guess after you spend so much time, like, creating a costume and, like, doing everything and, like, working so hard, it's hard to, like, let anything else, like, take precedence over that, to be honest. And our next holiday is...
Well, it's...
Wake up! Wake up!
I am awake. I'm not going on tangents about costumes.
Hair flip. Did you
Shade.
see that?
Shade.
Shade.
So the next holiday is Walpurgisnacht, which is a holiday, a Germanic holiday, about witches, specifically. We could go into the history of that, but it's basically about witches.
It's a witches' night.
Yeah, Witches' Night. They're in
Germany, Brocken.
Yeah, in Germany. I was trying to remember if it's not in Sweden. It's in Germany. The Brocken mountain range. It was thought to have like. It was thought that witches would go there and like make sacrifices and use altars.
Just
and have like crazy and have
orgies,
scandalous orgies and sacrifices and rituals and blood and wonderful things.
Delightfulness.
And so it kind of was popularized for that, and then alternatively around like I think the Netherlands they would have, and like Scandinavian countries they would have witch burning like effigies and stuff.
Absolutely. But, like, non-apologetic. I mean, like, the current times, the way that they do it, they just, like, they have, like, a witch burning where they, like, build a pyre and they put, like, a stuffed witch on there. No apologies about the suffering, especially of innocent people.
Right. So
obviously, witchcraft isn't, like, really that, like, dark of a thing. I mean, I don't know what kind of shit you're into. But, I mean, you know, like, we're not, like, eating babies and shit. And even if you are.
Well, yeah, don't eat.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing out there.
Some religions.
That's you're not wrong, my friend.
It's a form of ancestor veneration. Anyways, we celebrate Walpurgisnacht as an homage to witches throughout history.
Yeah.
The sacrifice of witches. The sacrifice of women. Going back to the feminine energy.
We're all about feminine energy.
The sacrifice of people who weren't witches, who were claimed.
We even burned our hands to, like, not, like, an extreme, but, like, you know, we just, like, how would we describe it?
We like, put our, like, we had to alter this here. We would put our hands, like, into a flame.
Yeah. Our tea lights or, you know, votives or whatever.
Candle.
Yeah, we each had candles. You didn't have to do it, obviously, but, I mean, like, the people who wanted to do it, like, to, like, feel, like, a second of pain that, like, somebody who might have actually been practicing, like, our religion, or somebody who wasn't, somebody who didn't have anything to do with it, just to, like, know, sort of to feel
sacrificial, empathetic magic. But, yeah. So
that's such a beautiful way of putting that. He's just he's a verbose, little, delightful person. But also, the next thing, so Walpurgisnacht kind of lands on Beltane or Beltana, depending on what you say.
Before the 30.
So it's like Christmas Eve or Yule Eve.
For Beltana.
For Beltana. And, so we usually celebrate, so that's like the Aussie and the Great Rite, the big old Great Rite. So we try to, like, incorporate, like, jumping over some sort of flame, even if it's a candle. Mm-hmm. And we do like a penetrative rite. It's not like a sex ritual, which I'm not against that. Girl, go for it. But not in this particular rite. But we do like a symbolic situation.
And protection into the coming crop season.
So, and then it depends also, like, seasonal, like, pantheon, like, who, like, not seasonal pantheon, but who in the pantheon is, like, more of a seasonal deity for that. We actually used to do completely, like, secular, non-deity, like almost non-denominational, whatever you want to say about it. You know, we did, like, rituals with no deities at all. And then, like, later we were like, no, we do have deities, so we're using them. So we stopped ignoring that call. So that's cool. The next holiday is...
Litha or Midsummer.
And, okay, so really quick, I'm just going to throw this in there. When I was younger, when I was a solitary witch, mostly I did druidic, like, ADF sort of rituals. So, by the way, it's been a really long time, so I'm probably going to screw this up, but I think it was... Alban Hafen was what I celebrated around that time instead, because, as I said, I do identify as a sea witch, like a Walua, a Gotia, like all this stuff. We identify as a lot of, like, what would you call it? Not like a high priest, because we aren't really using that, but it's kind of like that in our group, you know?
Yeah.
Delightful, because we're, like, the leaders of our group.
But
whatever.
Druidry.
Yeah, but, yeah, so... You're like, get back on the topic. Sorry, I'm a rambler. Because as a sea witch, Alban Hafen, I used to say Alban Helfen because I don't know why, but it's like the holiness of, like, land, sea, and sky together, and since that's like a big druid, like, those are like the portals to the worlds of land, sea, and sky, and that's like a whole big thing. Yeah, so I loved that holiday. And there's a lake across the street, or I could, like, bus. But because we're older now and we're, like, we have feet and we're human peoples and stuff, we have, like, a tradition of doing a beach ritual. Mm-hmm. So we're still honoring that land, sea, and sky, because obviously there's, like, you know, there's, like, the sand, sediment, the ocean, and the sky. Mm-hmm. But last year I thought we had a really cool ritual, right? What did we do? We created...
We made witch bottles.
We made witch bottles. And we used a lot of beach materials, and Zach broke an entire shelf at his work. Remember? That's where that glass came from.
No, that did not come from there.
Wait, where did it come from? I knew there was a story. Well, that happened too.
The glass, yeah. But the glass came from when I was inebriated and tripped and fell into a picture
Oh.
in my house and broke glass with my shoulder.
Yeah.
And so we used the shards of glass because in witch bottles you use all kinds of
pointy
sharp
stuff. I think there was needles in there and like.
There weren't needles. It was.
Shut up.
No. It was,
Okay, it was all glass. It was pointy glass.
Glass and shells.
And then some part of your human self, blood, hair, urine for some.
I peed in mine.
But the thing is all the people watching this probably have peed in a witch bottle, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Traditionally, it's
so
pee.
I put hair and blood in mine, but whatever you want to do, you don't have to do any of it. But peeing is not as like painful. It's just kind of an easy.
I guess.
It's kind of And also, if you're a male, it's pretty easy to like aim in there.
Male-bodied.
Male-bodied. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. So that's easier. But anyway, so that beach ritual, especially if you can get out on a sunny day. We did Alki last year, and it was like gorgeous. It was like the best day. There's a rocky side of Alki. If you've ever been there, and it's got like a mountain view, and there's like awesome little creatures all over there. We found an arthropod in our like holy water, and we had to like ride and like dump him back in the water so he could become like a shrimp or whatever. It was exciting. But yeah, so that's enough about Litha. You've heard our thing. So the next one is Frey Foxy. So we get all on that Frey. Delightful. That's like a mega fertility, right?
Also known as Lammas.
Yeah, so Lammas or Lunasad. And we have a tradition. You roll your eyes, but you love it. You love our tradition. What do we do for Lammas/Lunasad? Okay, what does Lunasad sound like?
Lasagna.
So you say it like it's so stoically, but you helped make that lasagna.
I love lasagna.
And then
just a funny play.
It's just a play.
You're supposed to have fun with things.
That's right. So we just it's kind of like, because it's a bread, there's like bread and stuff. Leefmees.
Yeah, loaf mass.
Yeah.
For the
if you're
Christo witches.
Or leefmees if you're a pagan before they stole it from the pagans. So we have like garlic bread. So that's our like leaf. That's our bread. And then one year we made a box lasagna, and last year we actually attempted and succeeded a homemade lasagna. So it was freaking great, and so it just kind of a funny play in words. I think we sort of mixed leefmees, Lunasad/Lammas, and Frey Foxy last year at our ritual, so it's like a big like amalgamation of a ritual. And the next one, go ahead. That's the first of the 3 harvest festivals.
So that's like that was like taking pride in the summer.
Enjoying that squeezing that last bit out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Mabon is our second harvest festival full of apples. I think we did an apple release spell that time. And we were going to get apple pie, but nobody wanted that. So I think we got like drumstick ice cream for like cakes and ale celebration. We had like wine and ice cream or something. I don't know. I feel like that one got rushed because we had to go to club or something. So it was kind of just a quick. It was still really nice because we weren't going to even celebrate it. And then it ended up being a delightful situation. So we still like Mabon.
What about the actual holiday itself?
Yeah, it's the second harvest, so it's like when you're gathering some of the.
It's like when autumn is just starting to show.
Yeah, it's like autumn fruit, so it's like enjoying what you have before it dies, sort of situation. Like as like the leaves fall, we're like appreciating what summer was to us.
Like almost to autumn, but not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Which leads to
lots of apples, but like I feel like for and I should also mention, so for some of these holidays, so sure it's like a big old holiday, but sometimes we'll write it about something else. Like Litha one year, me and Zach stayed in and we had a balance. We did like an Eastern religion type of balance ritual where it was like
made a beautiful mandala on the floor.
It was gorgeous out of candles and stuff.
Flowers.
So I feel like I'm pretty sure that Mabon we did another balance ritual and we used apples. So it was an apple-y balance and there was lots of crystals. Because we actually aren't like that like old on crystals. That's kind of like a newer thing that was maybe last year that got brought about early last year. And now we're freaking obsessed. So we put crystals on everything. So I remember it was a very crystal-y. It was a really pretty it was kind of like a swirly like crystal altar. Yeah. So that was Mabon. And then Samhain, we freaking love Samhain. That I feel like possibly close to the favorite of holidays because we got to venerate the ancestors, venerate the dead. We've had
the veil.
Right. We've had ridiculous fucking Samhains. We have done Samhain like whole table altars.
Yeah.
We've done
Full
full houses of people. We've had huge feasts. We've had black and white photos. We did shanties.
Don't really know. Samhain is also Halloween.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Maybe. Yeah. So if you're like new to witchcraft and stuff, and you're like, Halloween's a witchy holiday. Samhain isn't even witchy holiday. So like, it is. It is the veil is thin between
the spiritual world and ours, and there's mumming and guising and all those
treats things. And we always have a costume. We always wear costumes, of course, and then usually we go clubbing to like a Halloween club situation. So cockpit, something, dick slap. That's like, I'm not being vulgar. That's literally the name of like clubs around here. So that's real parties at clubs.
Yeah. We did a Ouija board the year before last, which was fun.
We also are like, me and Zach are little assholes and we do pranks. 1 year we did a Ouija prank on our friend who speaks Spanish. So we like looked up all these Spanish words ahead of time. I'm half Spanish. I don't speak Spanish a bit. But he's like fluent in Spanish. And Zach, obviously, he's not fucking Spanish at all. But anyway, so we Googled Spanish words and we like, and gods and stuff. And so we like used the idiom motor effect thingamabob and like moved that thing. And we moved the planchette to like say all the Spanish stuff, and he was like fucking like he was like scared and intrigued and like, oh my god, and everyone was like, let's go, and like our friend was just like into it, and it was awesome. It was really fun. But anyway, and then Zach also pranked us with Ouija one Halloween. It was so that was, we do pranks and we do silly stuff,
which is also
it's also a very Halloween-y type of thing. Really quick, I just want to throw this out there because people ask me about Samhain all the time, like, what is Samhain? So we talked about the veil, right? So the veil is thin so monsters can get out. So that's why people dress in costumes. Yeah. They dress in costumes so that like the monsters think that they're just one of them. They're just assimilating with that. So that's why people dress up in costumes.
Well, and it's to protect yourself from spirits so they can't find you. And it's also a means to scare away the spirits of the dead.
It's a very big on protection, girl. Get that patchouli out. On Samhain. I am a fucking sage, patchouli. I'm a patchouli addict, so gotta get that. But it's also
especially good for ancestor veneration. Not necessarily malignant all the time.
It's a very common custom to leave a candle in the windowsill like all night long so that your ancestors can find your house to find their way home. It's really sweet.
It's really good to leave out an extra plate of food for them.
Yeah. Oh yes. What was it called? The silent
mock
table.
Seat.
Yeah.
Plate.
Yeah, it's like a whole, but you leave the entire seat and the plate for them.
Empty for your ancestors
it's
to
so
come
beautiful.
And go. It's a very nice way to venerate them. We take photos of our ancestors and we light votives for them and say a few words.
It actually is a pretty long process, but in a good way.
Not necessarily just our ancestors, people who are special to us, even like people that we've never met, like idols who have recently died or have died that you wish to honor, period.
So this year, obviously, David Bowie is going to be on that list for me. Alan Rickman. Like, I'm just going to give them a shout out. Because, like, anybody who's impacted your life and has died, like, of course you're going to want to venerate. And then, of course, family members, teachers that have died, just slap some crystals, so that's great. But, yeah, so Samhain is really, really important. I feel like Samhain is probably the holiday or Sabbat that brings us together the most, like, emotionally, and, like, I feel like we always put the most effort into Samhain, not only because we're in costumes, just because it's so important. But anyway, so that's Samhain. Let's get the fuck out of there. So Yule
is also very important.
Yule is okay. So let's explain Yule really quick. Back in the day, because pagans are pagans and awesomeness, there were two holidays, Saturnalia and Yule. And so when the Christians colonized, I'm not saying crap. If you're a Christian or a Christian witch, that's cool. I'm just telling you history. So, like, that sounded aggressive, but I don't mean it like that, But to facilitate conversion, because they were like, we do not want these pagans around, they kind of, like, took the holiday.
The native traditions.
Assimilated them.
into their own practices so that it would be easier and more palatable for the indigenous.
So they're like, look, you don't have to
beliefs.
change everything about yourself.
A common practice would be to take deities of the indigenous people and make them into saints. So a saint for like a village that a popular deity would inhabit, they would take the saint and say, well, now you are Saint Walpurgis, you're Saint Brid. For a few examples, I'm sure there's a lot of.
We should say, like not in closing, but like for the Yule thing, like some of the similarities between so that you can see how extreme, like how literally extreme, in my opinion, the thievery is. For example, mistletoe. This is like one of my favorites. So there's a story about Balder, and he gets shot with a mistletoe arrow.
It's because it was Frigg, right?
Yeah, it was Frigga.
Frigga wanted to create immunity for her son, so she commanded that all things in the world would not be able to kill him. Everyone, every god, every creature, everything complied except for mistletoe. The tree didn't listen. And so... She
cried, and then her tears turned the mistletoe white. And so it brought him. It was after he died.
Someone shot him with a. Who shot him?
I don't remember. It's not important right now.
Someone shot him with a mistletoe arrow, and her son Balder, the god, died, and so she
cried, and he was reborn.
Yeah. Anyway.
So that's a beautiful sun wheel getting pushed down to symbolize the come back sun.
It's a Celtic tradition
as well. Yeah, and that's a Christmas wreath. Let's see, what's another one?
The Christmas tree.
Oh, yeah.
The
big thing
symbol. The Christmas tree was taken from the, I believe the Gaels and the Manx people. They would take, and just all around Germany, Scandinavia, they would take a fir tree or an evergreen tree into their house because the tree symbolized life and greenery, and so by bringing it into their house, it was venerating it, and they would put lights on it or candles, very dangerous. They would put lights and ornaments and tinsel and precious items on it to encourage the tree to be alive and the light to come back. It's another.
And the Scandinavians did a sort of I don't know if it was borrowed or who did it first, whatever. But they did the same thing, but they did it outside. But they put clothes and hair and braids to entice the spirits to come back, the spring spirits. So it's kind of the same sort of thing.
It's to bring the New Year back.
And then of course there's Sleipnir the horse or the Jötunheim goat. Those were actually the inspiration for the reindeer. And of course Odin is the actual Santa. But then
Odin is also Odin is often referred to as the Yule Father.
That's right. It's the Allfather and the Yule Father. And then that got taken into Saint Nicholas, and then that's where Krampus came along, and then his two they were all buddies with the elves and stuff, beating children. So that's some delight.
Yeah, we celebrate Yule.
So we celebrate Yule, and we make that a fucking extravaganza.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's of course. I mean, that's the holidays. So that's ingrained into America. We're obviously American, so that's
Western.
sort of smashed into our psyche from a young age. So of course we're kind of oh yeah, we gotta celebrate that. So we have Odin's little Odin statues, and we have holiday wrapping. We use holiday wrapping paper as our sorry, I was slapping you. We use it as our altar cloth. And we have lots of seasonal candles and just cute stuff. And like I said in the last video, we tried to make wax stamps, and it didn't work. It just ruined people's clothes and pants, and everyone just got dirty.
But we used the year before last to use holly.
No, I actually showed it in the altar video. I showed that one. Yeah. So yeah, go check that video. Also, I'll put Zach's Instagram so you can go scroll way down. You'll see tons of our altars. They're pretty elaborate. But yeah, so I feel like Yule is a very important. It's it's obviously really good to reclaim lost tradition. So Yule's kind of, for me, that's what that is. So yeah, so those are all the holidays we celebrate.
Really quick to Yule. If people are wondering, Yule comes from Scandinavia. It's primarily a Nordic holiday.
Yule. But also in the Grecian lovelies
Italy.
did
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia. I thought, but it was the Grecian holiday though, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Somebody correct me.
Romans.
Are you sure? Okay.
So,
Believe
well,
him. Oh, but if it's Roman, it's so it's both then, right? Because if it's Roman, then
It's not. Romans.
Okay, we're gonna have this conversation later, but okay. So
Well,
it's Roman.
The reason
I
why we
mixed
bring
it
up Saturnalia is because it was held at around the same time.
Mhm.
Another really common. I feel like we're going way too far into Yule, but
It's okay. It's important to us. It's all good. People,
uh,
if they're still watching, if you're still watching, congratulations.
congratulations.
Congratulations, you win a prize of love. Friendship.
Yeah, in Saturnalia they have. That's where we get gingerbread men from because they would often.
Oh, the Yule log too.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, gingerbread man.
all
Go
kinds of
ahead.
things. Anyways.
Oh, that's a good story. Tell it. It's all
Oh
good.
yeah.
Just tell
Well,
it.
in just really fast in around December, Saturnalia, which was a big holiday in Italy, they would pick two people, man and a woman, and for the 12 days before Saturnalia, they would adorn them with like they would walk them through multiple parades, have parties. They would have very intense orgies where they would
have
always
sex with the orgies.
They would have sex with these two individuals. They were like glorified like people. They would feed them. They would get them drunk. They would just give them the best time ever.
The fucking best time.
For 12 days. And throughout those days, they would make little cookies in the shape of the man and woman, usually out of some sort of flour or something. And
I think it was just flour and water.
Yeah, they were very
weren't
simple.
very-
And then on the night of Saturnalia, I believe they.
No, yeah, you're right.
This could all be very like incorrect information, but
That's
they
okay.
would
Let it
sacrifice them. They would kill the man and lady, and of course that was not really a Christian thing. So they kept
They kept the cookies.
They
Yeah.
kept the cookies.
Drink the Kool-Aid, eat the cookies. You got to do it.
Yes,
Once again, these are just the way that we celebrate the holidays. And another thing that I want to preface really quick about what we're saying, our beliefs and our system of beliefs, it's pagan and heathen. But the way that we practice our beliefs only applies to us. So like if you do something a different way, be sure to tell us in the comments. Because you could very well do something different.
Our beliefs are very eclectic and very specific to ourselves and to our own
groups,
interests, ancestry,
and ancestral lines. Yeah. So. Yeah. So that's about all we gotta say. We've talked for a long time.
This is our longest video.
We really talked a lot. But I hope you enjoyed it. Hope something was helpful to you. Or I just hope you enjoyed our strange banter, because that's just how we are. We are officially out of the coffee that we started drinking at the beginning of this. We did 3 videos together. So yeah, so thank you so much for sticking with us. And happy Imbolc if you're celebrating. Happy Dieselblot as well. So bye.